everyone, it's Bianca from the Stampin' Bee. Today I have for you a really cute card. Look at that. I couldn't get away. I couldn't get away from that country home stamp set. I had to incorporate it somehow into Christmas, and I did. And of course, this beautiful plaid I also had to do as well. So this is my little country card, I guess. I don't know. It is a very country card, and I wanted to add these little elements to it. This little candy cane, it's so cute. So I'm going to show you how we're going to use this. We're going to be using the country home stamp set. We're going to be using this one right here. This little candy cane came from the candy cane season. Is these ones here. I did fussy cut them out. I already had them, actually a bunch of them left over from another project, so I already had that cut out, so we don't have to watch me fussy cut those out either. And then this sentiment is from the Dashing Deer, this one right here. So we're going to be using that as well. So let's get started on it. Let's start with our card base. It is thick, very vanilla. I don't always use very vanilla, and I am using it this time. So thick, very vanilla. And then I am using the Wood Textures Designer Series paper. I cut this down. Well, let's see. The card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's just your typical card base that we always use. This is the Wood Designer Series paper, the Wood Textures Designer Series paper. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I wanted just a sliver. Turn it. Do I want it this way? Yeah, let's do it this way. Just a sliver. So we're going to attach this one on. Oh, do I want that side? Nope, I like that side better. So let's get this guy on our card. And this is just an 1/8 edge here. And then I have the Farmhouse Designer Series paper. This is really, really nice. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, or 4 1/2. 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And this we're going to just do at an angle. I didn't want the edges to come off of the card, so you want to kind of move it slightly so it'll sit right there, just so it kind of fills in the space. I wanted to kind of use a different design to it, so just like that, and that puts together your card. So let's do our little urn thing. So we're going to be using Memento ink and our blends. I'm just going to be using the Smoky Slate, the Light and Dark, and then the Color Lifter for just added texture to it. So let's get our little, what would you call this? This is not an urn. This is like a jug, like a milk jug. Is that what it is? I don't know why I always want to call them urns. So get that. I originally did mine in Whisper White. I'm going to do it on, oh, that got messed up. I'm going to do it on very vanilla. I don't think it'll make that much of a difference in texture wise. I'm not sure. I will see how it comes out. As far as coloring goes, it colors, you know, a certain way on white than it will on the very vanilla, so we'll see how that comes out. Let's do our sentiment real quick while we let that dry. And we'll do the Happiest Christmas Wishes from the Dashing Deer. Let's get this lined up really nice. We're going to cut it out so it doesn't have to be too straight. And I use Cherry Cobbler because this is Cherry Cobbler. And Cherry Cobbler is my go-to Christmas red. I love it. Alright, so stamp that there, let that dry. This was just a strip of very vanilla, so it'll all match. Alright, so let's come back to this. I'm going to start with my dark, and I'm just going to go around the edges of my jug. I almost said urn again. It's not an urn. I don't know, would it be like a milk jug? The other one looks kind of like a vase. Would it be like that? Like a vase? No, I don't think it'd be a vase. I mean, we do put flowers in it in our stamps, so I don't know. All I know is it's very country. It's very Joanna Gaines, like from Fixer Upper. That's the trend right now. Everybody wants their house like hers. And who wouldn't? It is just some great, simple designs. I know my mom is obsessed with it. So let me just blend this. Then I like to go around the edge one more time just to keep it nice and dark. And then I'm going to use the color lifter on it. And I'm just going to run that right in the middle. I like the effect that this gives. Kind of gives it a very rustic-y, like blotchiness to it. Almost like the real thing. I mean, if you were to see one of these in real life, you can see like the metal is very blotchy. So, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but that's what it does. So, I am going to cut this out, and when you fussy cut, you just kind of leave a nice little border to it. No need to get very particular with it. Your eye is naturally drawn to the image, so the fussy cutting doesn't need to be perfect. No one's looking at your cutting. They're looking at the image, and when you have a nice little border on there, it really makes your images pop. So, no need to get frustrated with fussy cutting. I know some people don't like it, or it's very hard for them, you know, to handle on their hands and stuff, but I love it. It is very therapeutic for me. Alright, so let's finish here. So I have my circles. I use the 3rd largest stitched, and this is in Old Olive, and the 5th largest scallop, which is in gold. And we are just going to layer these. This is just for texture purposes. On the card, I wanted something right there, and I couldn't figure out what. So that will sit there. I also have my little piece of burlap, and we are just going to, I want to fold it over, and it'll sit right underneath there. So I am going to use a little bit of my fuse. If you don't have fuse, I would suggest using the tear and tape, you know, because the snail won't work for that. And then I am going to actually use some more on here, and we are going to attach that to here. It's like a little ribbon. And then we are going to put some dimensionals on here to help hold it down and to pop it up. And that'll go right there. Perfect. Then we have our little jug. I have my greenery, a little gold sprig, another red sprig. These, we don't have red glitter, so any glitter paper you have would be good. And then my little candy cane. And these little guys come from the Pretty Pines, and they are these ones right here. These are in the annual catalog, so you can get these at any time, and they work great. So we're going to do some layering in here of these. going to start with our candy cane right on the edge. We're going to add our glitter, our gold, and then our pines. And try not to go outside the little jug. I'm going to probably have to use a glue dot to get this last one. There we go. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals to this one, so he'll sit right up on top. All right, and then that's going to sit right here. Oh, it's so cute. All right, so let's come back to our sentiment, and I am going to cut this out. You can use your trimmer for this if you wanted to get it perfect and exact. I'm pretty comfortable with my snips to cut it out exactly to the words. Nothing too difficult. There we are. And then I am going to add some dimensionals to that. Now when I did this one, I actually had to add, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I had to add like 3 dimensionals to it just to keep it level. So I'm probably going to have to do the same. So we're going to add a little bit of fuse right here. And then I'm going to stack my dimensionals on this end. So I'm probably going to have to use 3 again. So let's 1, 2, and 3, only because I have so much dimension on this. And then it'll sit right there. Perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this card. It is so cute. So everything will be on my site at thestampinbee.com. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. All the measurements, product information, all of that will be linked below as well. All right, have a good one. Bye.